Yeah, so it definitely goes on for sure.
I mean,
Like I remember one time, I remember one time these two fucking bitches was in the bathroom. It's early in the morning, everybody sleep, and she in the bathroom eating her girlfriend out, and it's a black girl and a white girl. So the black girl was like the dominant one, the white girl was, the film. So she in the bathroom eating her out early in the morning, everybody sleep. This bitch exaggerating so much. She in there, like loud as fuck. So I'm like, so I'm
most people know me as Wall Street Real, but for the last 15 years, 14 years, 9 months, 19 days to be exact, the government knew me as MA43083-039. You're not tuned into my fair vacation. What's up, though? Y'all know what it is. You tuned into another episode of My Fair Vacation. Today, we're going to switch it up a little bit. I got the first female guest on the show today, my girl, Gigi, gorgeous, and of course, that's her real name. You know what I'm saying? What's up, though?
what's up?
Shit, you know what it is. You know, this is my fair vacation, you know, and it's a big misconception that only men do prison time or women are like in the shadows of doing prison time. You know, nobody really pay attention to the women's side of the game or that women actually does go to prison. So, you know,
Absolutely.
let everybody know a little bit about yourself.
My name is Gorgeous. Um, I've done state and federal time. I did 28 months altogether for um, bank fraud and yeah, bank fraud.
Bank fraud. So I'm gonna touch on the state time a little bit, even though this is my fair vacation. But did you go to the state first or to the feds first?
State.
To the state first.
Mhm.
Now, before we get into the feds, now being that you've done both and I've done both too,
Mhm.
was it like a big difference to you
Yeah.
between state and fed time?
Yeah. The feds was like it was kind of like a campus, college campus. I just couldn't go home.
Yeah. See, for men, it's like the state is more physical and
Mhm.
the feds is more mental. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But the old feds, they say used to be a lot better, and you know, like not to blow my own horn or toot my own whistle, or however you say that saying, but I had a different bit than a lot of dudes in the feds because I had a little money and I know how to move around. So I was able to have shit that nobody else had and do my time in the feds like the old feds. But the
Mhm.
feds ain't the feds no more now. How is it on the women's side?
So it was like way more laid back. Um, I didn't have like any contraband over there because it was a camp. So it was like really kind of like smooth selling over there. People wasn't like really trying to get contraband because coming from like, the state facility where I was at, I had a cell phone. And then when I got over there, I didn't have a phone and I was looking for it. But we had so much more freedom to move around that it really didn't bother me having a phone because I could leave and go outside when I wanted to. I wasn't like, locked down 24/7, and the food was better. The people over there was like on a, different level than the people in the state facility.
Yeah, and I can attest to that too. But like as the years went by during my bit, the feds was kind of turning in the state. Like they was getting to lock up anybody. You know what I'm saying? So you was getting them crumb bum ass niggas like my man Rook would say. You was getting niggas that wasn't really out here doing nothing coming into the feds. So it was turning into like a state type of situation. But you know, you
So
still had your federal type of niggas. You know what I'm saying?
So the only time when I did meet people that was like kind of like you in here, it would be people from DC because DC didn't have state. Everything out there is federal. So all of the people from, DC that would come there, it would be like you got a Fed charge, you need to be in the state.
And that's crazy that she even brought that up because it's not been an episode of My Fair Vacation yet that the DC dudes didn't come up on the episode. And that's just how much of a strong influence they got in the federal system. And shout out to my man Booby. I'll be in DC soon, my man Booby. I'm gonna have a real DC dude on the couch, on the chair that give y'all his explanation of how the DC inmates are, how they are. But that's crazy that you brought that up because every
Mhm.
episode we done discuss a situation with some DC dudes, and it's crazy that the women are the same. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That is crazy.
You
But
definitely meet them and be like, "What you did? You did what? That's a fair charge." Like, nah, you need to be over in a state facility.
yeah, and for y'all don't know if I didn't break this down before, DC has no state system. So any crime that a DC inmate commits, they're going to the feds. So whether it's retail fraud, whether it's burglary, whether it's home invasion, down to murder, you're coming to the feds. So that's why it's so many DC dudes in the fed system, and shit, DC women in the fed system. So you was indicted for bank fraud.
Hmm.
So we don't really want to get into the case, but when you got arrested, did you get a bond or how was that situation? How did that go?
So when I first had called my charge, I was um arrested in Mississippi, and but that was on the state charge. I was arrested in Mississippi, and I was let out on bond, and then I had to go back to Mississippi to pick up my I can't remember what they call it, but you have to go there to pick your paperwork up. So when I went to pick my paperwork up, they reran my name and I had a warrant for Louisiana, and then they locked me back up. So when I was extradited to Louisiana, that's when I found out it was a Fed charge, and I ended up staying. I asked, could I stay there once they had gave me a lawyer, because the federal holding facility was way better than the state facility. The state facility where I was at in Mississippi, it was like trash.
So you're
So,
indicted out of Louisiana.
hmm,
So you ain't a 039, you 034, huh?
I guess whatever them numbers is, I didn't keep track. Listen, I left that place and never looked back. I don't. You can't even ask me to tell you what my inmate number was.
Yeah, see, that's the crazy shit because I got my federal ID in my pocket.
For what?
I mean, for one, I ain't today makes 6 months I've been home. So I haven't got rid of it yet. And Rook was on the show. Rook got his ID in his pocket after 16 years. It's like a reminder of what we've been through. It's like it's a check and balance to what I don't want to go back to. So you know what I mean. I ain't got to hold it. I ain't let it go yet.
I
Put it
don't
like
want to
that.
go back, but I ain't walking around with that little red card in my pocket. Listen, I threw that away. I took my money off that little debit card they gave me when I got home, and I
I
ain't never
still
looked
got that
back.
money. I took all the money off the debit card, but I still got the debit. Matter of fact, I'm gonna throw the debit card away tonight. I'm gonna throw
That's
the
that
debit card away.
penitentiary shit. It's like,
So what you
no.
saying? I'm institutionalized.
Yes, definitely institutionalized. Cause ain't no way. Like it be times where like some of me and my homegirls we'd kind of talk about shit that happened when we was locked up, and it be stuff that I don't even remember, and they'd be like, how you don't remember that? And I'm like, look, I left that place and I ain't never looked back. I remember the day I got out, September 30th, 2015. When I got out of there that day, I felt like what's his name, Rich Homie Quan, when he was like, I dropped down to my knees and thank God today. That's how I felt. I was like, I'm never coming back to this place again. Like, for real.
Okay, well, you say September what? September what? 2015.
September 30th.
September 30th, 2015.
Yep.
Well, let's rewind all the way back. So it was initially held in Louisiana.
Mhm.
So you went through your court proceedings in Louisiana and everything.
Mhm.
So what was that vibe like? Like fighting the case because you've been to the state before.
Mhm.
So
No, I
face
hadn't been to I had only been in holding. I hadn't got my time yet. I just was sitting in the state county for 4 months. And then when I was extradited to Louisiana, I was there for 8 months, and then I went for sentencing.
yeah, so you was in Louisiana when you got sentenced, right?
Hmm.
So being that you hadn't really been in jail before, you say you had been in the county jail for 4 months, but from a woman's perspective, what was that vibe like being locked up for your first time being locked up?
It wasn't good. I was locked up 12 months in the county, but it wasn't a good feeling because that was the first time that like I was away from my kids. So like the first 4 months, I um I probably like cried like every day, calling home and talking to my kids until I had to get it in my mind like they with my mom, they with their dad, they good. But to me, I just still feel like they not with me, so they not good.
And that's really what I want to touch on, and that's why I kind of had wanted to have women on my show
Hmm.
because that's a side of the game that nobody thinks about. You know what I'm saying? Whether you selling dope, whether you scamming, whatever it is, it's consequences to that. And most of us had children that we leave behind, and this shit like meant to break up families and shit. And I was blessed to have a good relationship with my children during my prison bit, but it was times that it got rough. Me not
Hmm.
being there. Of course, I was gone 15 years. I left my kids was 4 and 5 years old, and came home they was 19 and 20. So visits and shit helped, but that's like something that nobody talks about because it needs to be heard. Because if this conversation me and you have on this episode can keep the next woman or the next man from going to prison, leaving their children behind, if it can just keep one motherfucker from doing that, we did our job. So that played a big part on you.
Yeah, it did. I didn't have visits because I was all the way in Mississippi, so I didn't want them to spend all that money traveling out there, going through them little hick towns, coming out there to see me or whatever. So my mom, she used to be like, "Well, we gonna come see you," and I used to just be like, "No, don't just save your money, don't come out here." So I didn't see my family like none the whole time I was locked up. I just talked to them on the phone, but it was fine. It got me through. Like,
So like your first time being locked up, like what was you like? How long did it take you to really get through that? To really be like, damn, this is what it is.
um, I guess once I got to Louisiana, because when I was in Mississippi and I was locked up in the county, it was just kind of like everything over there was play. We was in the county. We would talk to the guys through the vents, like downstairs. Like that's how I originally had ended up getting my phone. And then my sister had sent me like a green dot. Like, well, she had went and got a green dot card to put money on it to pay for my bills. Shout out to my sister, Miss Dimples. Follow her on Instagram. But she got me a green dot card, and she gave me the numbers to the green dot card. So I had to call the numbers through the vent to the guy downstairs, and one of the guys in the cell with him copied my numbers down, and they people when they took the money off the card. But the guy still gave me the phone anyways. He was just like, one of these fuck niggas. Because when they called, he kept saying, like, it ain't no money on there. And I'm like, no. So I called my sister. She was like, what are you saying? I went and put the money on the card. And then the guy was like, you know what? One of these niggas didn't listen to, me writing the numbers down when you called it out. They took it. He was like, I got you. I'm going to still give you a phone. So once I had got the phone, I was able to talk to like my friends and stuff or whatever. But once I had got extradited to Louisiana, and all of the people was getting out the bus to go to like the where they was at. We was in Baton Rouge. So they was all getting out, and I was getting ready to get out, and the guy was like, you're not getting out. And I was like, where I'm going? And he was like, you going to such and such parish. And I was like, and the one guy was like, oh, he was like, that's the feds. And I was just like, oh my God, whatever. So when I got there, I mean, it was what it was. I kind of started like, by then I was like used to being locked up, like used to the shackles and everything. And I got there, I got commissary, I got me a notebook, and I just started writing my book.
Oh, so you do got a book that you wrote?
Mhm.
Is it out yet?
Mm.
Matter of fact, we discussed that before about you putting your book out. So
I've been procrastinating.
yes, but I'm not gonna let you procrastinate from this moment on. I told you initially I was gonna be on your ass about you putting that book out.
Yeah.
So this is everybody gonna see this. I'm gonna be on her ass about putting this book out. What's the book called?
Well, I haven't got it copyrighted yet.
What's the title of the book though?
Perfectly flawed.
Perfectly flawed.
Flawed.
Perfectly flawed. Y'all look out for that soon. Perfectly flawed. It might come out on Great Lakes State Publishing. You know what I'm saying? If she be bullshit, we gonna put it together. Come out. You know what I mean? We're gonna make sure the numbers right, the splits right. But back to my fair vacation. So on Louisiana, once you were sentenced, what was the prison that you went to? Did you go to Artisan or
I had to go to the transit center in
Oklahoma?
Oklahoma, and then I went to Coleman.
You went to Coleman.
Hmm.
So you went through the transit center in Oklahoma, so you actually experienced Fed it. Con Air.
Con Air.
Give the people a little bit about your experience on Con Air.
I mean, it wasn't too much different because I had rode on a plane plenty of times before, but it was definitely guys on there that had never been on a plane and they was on that bitch tripping like about to like die. Like they was just ready to get off the land. I was looking like y'all ain't never been on a plane before. They like nah, but I mean,
But it's a whole different experience being shackled and handcuffed on that plane. Like,
yeah, it definitely is. But shit, we all was so
yeah, but
it.
I'm saying like the okay. My thing is this: with that motherfucking fit Con Air ride, the thing that gets me the most is when you get off the plane in Oklahoma and they put you on those blocks where they take the fucking shackles and shit off.
Mhm.
That shit feel like the slave trade to me. Like that shit just gave me. You got all these white people around you and they got you shackled and handcuffed
You
and they took.
walking down like that
Yeah,
little
that shit
long ass
like
terminal with all these inmates. I was like, damn, I ain't never seen so many criminals in one place
that's something that'll
before.
never leave me. That moment right there when the first time I got up on that blue goddamn stand and they took them shackles off me, I'm like, this shit is
See, I don't
crazy.
really remember the blue stand.
See, I remember all that shit because it's like it really traumatized me. Like I'm really suffering from PTSD from being in prison. I just make it look easy, but that shit scarred me. Like, and I don't think nobody can do time in prison, whether it's 28 months or whether it's 15 years. Like that shit leaves something on you that you'll never forget.
Mhm.
So from the transit center, you went to Coleman.
Mhm.
If you can remember, because I see you done caught amnesia and forgot a lot of shit. What was your first day like at Coleman?
um, I really kind of like don't remember. I just remember getting like my change out clothes and going to like the unit that I was assigned to. And then the day that so the very first day that I got there, I had, met some people. We was outside, in Florida, it was warm out there. I think it was like in March. So it was like decent outside. So I was sitting outside at the table talking to a girl that was there because they had when they found out I was from Detroit, they was like, "Oh, she from Battle Creek." So I was talking to her, and then it was another girl that ended up coming out that walked by. They was going to lunch, and they was like, she from Detroit. So she went. We was all sitting at the table playing cards, playing spades, and then she came back and sat down and talked to me. And I think I talked to her for like the rest of the night, and then shit, that was about it.
Okay, so in male prisons,
Hmm.
it's politics and it's based on cars. Is it different in women's prison or is it the same way?
What do you mean?
Okay, like you're judged by or grouped by where you're from. We from Michigan with a Michigan car, or we're somewhere where we're not in the Midwest. It's usually a Midwest car. So was it like that in women's prison?
Mm-mm.
So it's just a free fall.
No, but I mean everybody kind of like you had the girls that was from Tampa, like they was all knew each other and clicked up or whatever, and then you had like the girls from Georgia, or whatever. But like it was like everybody talked to each other and mingled with each other, so it wasn't all of that.
And
Like,
females are kind of different anyway, because females are kind of chatty. Because like during my bit, I had women to come see me, and other dudes having their girls come see them, and they done been up there so many times together. Now, not their friends from
mhm,
meeting at the vending machine. So you know
mhm,
how women are.
yeah,
Niggas are a little bit standoffish than that. Like I can see your baby daddy 1,000 times and still won't say nothing to him. That's just some man shit. But women are different in that
mhm,
aspect. So I
yeah,
can see what you're saying as far as women just everybody getting along and all that shit. Now,
yeah. In the field, like they definitely got along over there. Like it wasn't a lot of fights or stuff over there like it was like in the States or whatever. It was definitely everybody kind of like chill or whatever. It wasn't no fights.
now, what like okay in men's prison?
Hmm.
We don't have too many privileges, and I'm not gonna say privileges, but like, okay, women need certain shit that men don't need. Of course, we have a barbershop,
Hmm.
but they actually have salons, and y'all can buy beauty products and all that shit on commissary.
Yeah, they had a salon where you could go and get your hair done, and then I don't really remember about buying beauty products because I don't buy beauty products at the stores now. I just go get my hair done. I let somebody else make a living doing that. I don't own a blow dryer, nothing. I just go get my hair done.
And I say that because shout out to the first lady of BMF, Tonisa Welch. I remember her sending her son, which is my right hand man, chill pictures, and it used to be some bad bitches in the feds. Like she was out in Dublin at this point in time, and she was sending pictures of like these bitches was bad, hair done and everything. So
Hmm.
was women getting fly and was they looking how was they carrying themselves down there?
I mean, you had some that looked just like they self, but I mean, for the most part, yeah, like they did their makeup and did their hair, put their little uniform pants on, stuff like that. But I mean, it was. I mean, for the most part, we just made the time. Be probably you see people get real like cute on picture day, like when people going to take pictures and stuff. But other than that, like I wore my hair in two braids, like almost the whole time. Only
Gangster,
time I
huh?
probably got my hair done is when I went and took pictures, and
And I seen pictures of you in the feds and you had your hair done.
that was the only time I had took pictures.
On a regular day, you had your shit in two braids,
Two
huh?
braids, yep, two braids.
Now, this is something I want to bring up because you was at Coleman,
Hmm.
and Coleman is notorious in the men's prisons for like the inmates fucking with the female staff. But I know that gets reversed.
Hmm.
Like you've been in the women's prison, it's like okay, it's only natural, and I'm gonna put myself in those shoes. If I was a man working in a women's prison, it's just natural. Like okay, it's just the laws of nature. A man is supposed to be attracted to a woman,
Hmm.
regardless if I'm a CEO and you're an inmate. So if I'm a CEO and I see a attractive female,
Hmm.
it's initially going to be some attraction there. So how was that? Like, did you have to deal with that, or did you see that being? How was that? Like, because that's a big thing. I
I'm
know in the
I'm
state prison.
gorgeous, of course. Nah, but I mean, not really, but I did have like a guard that worked there that liked me, and he would like we didn't have like Carmax on our commissary list, and I'm like, he bring me some Carmax in, and he did, and like everybody was like, where you get that Carmax from? And I'm like, don't worry about it. Like, but other than that, that was about it.
So
Like,
outside of minding your business, because you know in prison it's a see and don't see rule. You
mhm.
mind your business, even if you see some shit going on, you like, okay, I don't see it, or certain shit you can't speak on to nobody else. But you know, saying as much as you can say without exposing too much. Did you see that going on a lot? Like where a male guard was fucking with a female?
Mm-mm.
You didn't see that none?
Mm-mm.
Is that for the cameras or is it the truth?
It's the truth.
I don't
Mm.
believe that because it's like that's
I
just the laws of
mean,
nature.
it definitely goes on, but I didn't see it or I wasn't looking for it.
Exactly. You
And
was
if
minding
I,
your business. Put it like
yeah,
that. You
I
know what I mean?
was. So, yeah, I don't know what the women was doing with them guards. That was in my concern.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It shouldn't be your concern, but I'm sure it happens. And I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm sure more than one tried to talk to you.
That's all I can remember.
So I know you said you didn't get visits while you was in Louisiana. What about while you was in Florida?
Mm-mm.
None.
Mm-mm.
So even though your bit was short, you didn't see your kids none while you was doing your bit.
Oh, because my family was here in Detroit.
I mean, I know how that go. I was in Arkansas and that was like a 13-hour trip. And the woman I was with at the time, she was driving, bringing my children to see me. And shout out to you, you know what I mean, for doing what you did. But that's like a rabbit hole you can go down in. I've heard this before, like women ride with niggas when we doing our time.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it's the opposite, like with niggas. Like, were you involved in a relationship when you got locked up?
Um, yeah, kind of.
Did he stick by your side?
So it wasn't like that. So, um, so the guy that I was involved with, he was in prison when I went to prison. So of course we used to, write, but you can't write inmates.
Yes.
So I would have to like write my letter, send it to his mom, and then his mom would like send it to him. So we would write back and forth. But it was a guy that I talked to like on the outside, but I had like kind of just met him. So when I got locked up, he was asking my family about me, but I never contacted him because I was like, I just met him. Like, what I look like calling him from jail. So I
So
never.
from other females that you knew that was there, did you see any dudes like was dudes coming to visit chicks in jail? Does that go on? Like the niggas really
Yeah,
support their girl? How we rely on support from these females? On the flip side, is it the same?
yeah. My friend, she that I met in there, her husband would come visit her and bring her kids like often. So I mean, I don't know what he was doing outside, but
I
he was
mean,
definitely
and at the
there.
end of the day, that don't matter because
Mhm.
I got a female I was involved with, and I accepted certain shit that I wouldn't accept on the outs. I didn't give a fuck what she was doing as far as dick and pussy shit, as
Mhm.
long as she was there for me as far as the support I needed. Like, because you can't really care because it's gonna happen anyway, whether
Mhm.
you condone it or you don't condone it. So that's neither here nor there what he was doing. But shout out to him, whoever he is, if he was coming to see him, because I've met numerous females who was in prison, and the nigga shitted on them while they was in prison.
Yeah.
But it was on the flip side, you would expect this girl to hold you down and be there 100% for you. But
Yeah.
you got to play the game the same way when it's on the other side of the, you know what I mean?
Right.
But you did see that though. You did
Mhm.
see dudes pulling up, coming to see the visit their women and all that.
Mhm.
That's
I mean,
good.
it wasn't a lot, but I mean, and then on top of that, I didn't go to the visiting rooms, but where I was at, my building that I was in, you could see the parking lot or whatever. So there was bitches, nosy bitches in there that didn't know how to mind their business and was in everybody else's. They would go and stand in the window to see who visited who. Like I don't know why that bothered them, but they would go and stand in like the window to see who was coming to visit who. So even if you didn't see it, you knew because they was like, oh well, such and such came today, or this person came, stuff like that. So but yeah, I mean, I definitely like seeing guys coming to visit women, but I definitely seen more women or more parents, mothers bringing women kids or stuff like that. Yeah.
And that's really what it be like, for real, for real. You know, I lost my mother doing my bit.
Oh,
But
sorry to hear
before I
that.
lost my mother, like my mother was my number one supporter. And
Mhm.
that's really what it's gonna be. Your mother gonna always be there for you. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the moms who holding their sons, their daughters down during this prison time because, like I say, this shit is built to fuck up your whole family structure. You know what I'm saying? And like, luckily, I had a mother. Luckily, my daughter's grandmother. Luckily, I had a stepfather, which I hate using that word stepfather, but luckily, I had a father that was able to step up and be there for me and my child or my children. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to your mom for doing that too, because a lot of children get lost in the system because of us going to prison.
Yeah, my mom definitely was there for me more than I had expected because me and her never had like a really really good relationship. It was always like rocky off and on. So I was way more closer with like my cousins than my mom, and they are the ones who I had expected to be there more, but it was my mom who was there more and not them. And that shit hurt me. It fucked me up because it was like, like damn, like y'all not my cousins, y'all my sisters. Like, I spend every day with y'all. And, I've been in locked up, like y'all ain't wrote me, I ain't, heard from y'all or nothing when it was like people who I didn't even really like deal with like that. Like at the time when like before I had caught the charge,
Mm-mm-mm.
I was working at Henry Ford Hospital. So it was like a lady that I was cool with there. She found me and wrote me. And it was like, damn, like how she find me and write me. But my friends, the bitches I'm going out of town with, talking to on the phone every day, like y'all ain't wrote me, I ain't seen y'all or nothing. But these people that I barely even talk to like that then found me and wrote me.
And I can attest to that because it's crazy because like women I dealt with and took care of, like a lot of them abandoned me.
Hmm.
Now, shout out to the ones who stood by my side, but I got a chick I was dealing with maybe a few months before I got locked up with. And she stayed by my side the whole 15 years.
Hmm.
Shout out Shayla. You know what I mean? And you know, it wasn't a boyfriend girlfriend thing, but it was more of a friendship thing. Like she didn't leave me to rot in jail by myself. Like she did that time with me. And I appreciate that. You know what I mean? But it's usually the ones that, and I got a homeboy. Shout out to my nigga Rico Fonzarelli. Me and Rico Fonzarelli wasn't like niggas that was getting money together, none of that shit. Everyday partners on the street, but that man stood by my side my whole 15 years. I might look at my computer, you log in according to see who send you some money, and
Yeah.
his last name on there without me
Hmm.
even calling and asking. So it's usually the motherfuckers that you don't expect to stay by your side, then the motherfuckers you expect.
Yeah, and then the thing is like, it's not even like, like I was looking for money, because my family, you know, sent me money. My mom sent me money. My brother sent me money, but it was it was just the communication is what I was looking for. Is because like the pictures, like I like at mail time, you get your name called to get mail or whatever. So it was just like, damn, like where my girls at? Like, I'm tired of seeing letters from my damn mama, and it's just the kids. Like, where my homegirls
And that
at?
shit keep you alive in there. The pictures in the mail and shit, shit give you energy to keep you going because you can get down in prison. Like people don't understand that. Like you can get depressed in prison. You can lose your
Mhm.
mind in prison. Like, but contact from the outside world, just something as simple as some pictures might make your day, might keep you going, might give you some strength to get through that time because everybody has this misconception, and I say this again, like my favorite vacation, this platform is not to glorify prison. It's to give the raw reality of what's really going on to hopefully prevent the next person from going down the road that we went down. You know what I'm saying? But those pictures, those visits, those letters, all that shit means something. So if you got somebody in prison and you watching this, support your people, man. Stick by your people's side, man. Why they doing their bit, man? Because most of the time it be motherfuckers that we looked out for that don't look out for us while we're in there. And it's not
Mhm.
like you said, it's not a financial thing. It's just a communication thing. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
for sure.
For sure. So at Coleman, how long did you end up staying at Coleman?
Um, Not long, cause I had to basically, once I paroled from where I was at, they picked me up and went there, but it wasn't. I don't even remember. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even remember.
That's good and it's bad. Like it's good in the aspect of most of us get institutionalized.
Hmm.
And I'm sure after 15 years, there's no way that I'm not institutionalized to a certain extent. Now
Hmm.
I'm not fucked up as most dudes is, and I ain't come out here with baggy clothes, and I ain't standing up at my bed at 4 o'clock thinking they about to count me, and I ain't that fucked up as institutionalized. But I really haven't let that go. Like it's certain aspects of being in prison for so long, I can't let go. Like it's just
Why?
I haven't been long enough to let it. I haven't been home long enough to let it go.
See, I don't think I ever became institutionalized, because so I've always been like a late sleeper, and in there, like when it was time to like get up to for counting stuff, like I didn't get up. Like I would, like, stay in the bed, or like, in the, there in the feds, we have to get up and make our beds and then get back on top of it. So I'm not getting up to make my bed. Like, I'm staying in my bed, and that's what it is. Like, I had a job, so I had ended up getting like an easy job there. And then another thing, I don't remember how much we got paid, because I know it wasn't shit. But I
Nothing.
remember, I remember like having to get a job, and um, I ended up getting an easy job, basically like it was laundry. Like I would take the cart to the laundry in the I was supposed to take it in the morning, and but what I would do is I would push the cart in the unit, and I would open it up, and I would just let people put their shit in there. But everybody knew that I would be asleep, so by the time I got up, somebody would have been and went and pushed the cart to laundry for me, and that was it. And like at the end of the day, so some people would talk about, because some people like to follow a strict book and do their job how they do it. So what we were supposed to do is really put the cart up there at the front and say laundry. Everybody bring their stuff up there, put it in, and then that's that. But I was like, I'm not doing all that shit. Like, I'm not about to stand up here wait for people to bring their laundry. I will push the cart in there, sit up front, and people had all day to put their laundry in there. So they liked my unit. The other units, they used to be like, man, we gotta go up there at 5 o'clock and drop our bags and all this other stuff. I'm like, I ain't doing all of that. Like, these grown ass women. Like, here's the cart, drop your clothes in there, and I'll take it to laundry in the morning. But when I would get up, somebody would already have took it for me. So I
That's
was at.
crazy because it's crazy hearing this because even me, this is like my first time having a somewhat intimate conversation with a female that's done time in the federal system, man.
Hmm.
It's crazy how much the shit mirror itself because that's some of the same shit that went on in men's prisons. Like you got to
Yeah.
push the card up there, bring the laundry up there, and it was that shit is
Yeah,
crazy. Like
and then
hearing
you
that
lock it up and close it and keep it locked up until the next day. Like for what?
the big black things, right?
Ours was white.
But it was the big like thing, and
That
it
roll.
fold down, you
And
roll,
it
yeah.
roll, yeah.
Some crazy shit though, crazy story. And anybody who's at Ford City can remember me. Remember this. It's a goofy ass police. He was like a new police, like a rookie.
Hmm.
So he's gun ho on finding cell phones and shit. This dumb motherfucker called himself searching the laundry cart at night, and he's in the laundry cart searching the motherfucker and flipped over and rolled in the motherfucker. Talking about somebody help him. Bitch, we laughing at your stupid. That shit was funny.
Like,
The
nah,
nigga,
sir.
his feet is dangling in the air. He's in the laundry cart. Like, man, you
Hmm.
stupid motherfucker.
Yeah. It wasn't that many count times over there either, if I can remember. I remember doing count time like at night, and then I think we did it in the morning.
But she was at a camp though.
Yeah.
So, I had a brief stint at a camp. The camp is so much different than a higher security prison. In
Hmm.
camp, they count maybe twice, 4 o'clock and 9 o'clock, and that's
That's
it.
what it was, yeah. Cause I'm like, I don't really remember getting up in the morning for count because I know I would still be asleep when I was actually supposed to get up and make my bed, but I would stay asleep. So yeah, I guess it was 4 o'clock and then 10. I know it was 10 for sure because
Yeah, for
the I
sure.
remember the guard used to always come in there and be like, count time, and everybody get up and go
Now they
stand
count
at
at
the.
night in the middle of the night, but you probably sleep when they count in the middle of the night.
Oh, probably so.
Yeah, they count at 12 and then 3, then 5. I know this because most of the time at 12 and 3 and 5, I'm up on a cell phone. So I know I can't be on the phone at those times when they counting.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember them doing all of that. No, I'm saying I remember they would come through like and check probably maybe like once or so like after like all the lights and everything was out, but that shit was so open over there. If I wanted to be like fuck this shit, like I'm leaving today, I could have just
Because there
left.
wasn't no gate around. You was at the camp, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Now, let's get into that a little bit. Like, what was the setting like at a women's prison? Like, is it like okay, in a man's prison, in the medium, you got cells. Your toilet, your sink is everything is in the cell. At a low, it's a community bathroom. So at a camp, I'm sure it's a community bathroom and everything. So how was it set in that Coleman? Like, how was the unit set up and all that shit?
So it was like a cubicle. It looked like that. You went in there, it was bunk beds with two lockers, and that was it. It was a real mattress instead of like that little
Oh, y'all had
cot.
real mattresses.
Hmm.
Most of my time in prison, we had the little mats, like some.
Hell no,
Woo,
it was a
my back
real.
fucked up to this day from sleeping on the mats for so many years.
Yep, it was a real mattress, and then the bathrooms, private stall, private shower, and that's about it. Like so, like if you was on the top bunk, you could sit up and talk to somebody like in the next to you, and the one next to you was like a little square.
Okay, so I'm gonna speak on this now. In no way, shape, form, and fashion do I condone this shit. Like in prison, in men's prison, like it's a big misconception once you see on TV with dudes getting raped and all that shit. That really doesn't go on in federal prison. Now it has went on, but that's not the norm. But homosexuality is prevalent in federal prison. You do see that. But usually the niggas who gay want to be gay and the niggas who want to fuck the fags, they want to fuck the fags. You're not catching no straight niggas doing no shit, and that's just a big misconception. Now, it's like a what's the word to use? It's like a double standard when it comes to men's sexuality and women's sexuality. Like, okay, as men, we accept females being gay, but as
Mm-hmm.
men, we don't accept other men being gay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in women's prison, is I don't know, is homosexuality the word to use, but is it lesbian activity going on a lot in females prison?
Yeah,
A lot.
I mean, I was only at one facility, but yeah, it goes on a lot.
Okay, keep it 100. This is my fair vacation. It's only about being 100. Did you have a girlfriend in prison?
Got about a book.
I like that. You got about a book, and that's another thing. Like, if you really want to know a bit about my story, purchase my Fair Vacation. It's on sale right now on Amazon. But she said you got to buy the book to find that out. So perfectly flawed. I can't wait to read it myself to find out that Gorgeous have a girlfriend while she was doing time. Because it's like, I think this: women are more sexual than men. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Okay, now y'all always think that we just a man, we just pussy hounds, but when it come down to it, y'all be wanting just as more as us. It's just society has deemed y'all to be more quiet about it than men. But in that type of situation, it's like it is what it is. Because in being in county jails, holding facilities and shit, fighting my case, okay, it's women there. All of them was fucking around and had girlfriends and fucking with each other and everything. So that really goes on. Like, and you
Yeah, it definitely really goes on. Especially the married women. That surprises me. They be the main ones with a girlfriend, and I'd be like, "You got 6 months? How many? You got what? You and this bitch dyking like?" Yeah, so it definitely goes on for sure.
I mean,
Like I remember one time, I remember one time these two fucking bitches was in the bathroom. It's early in the morning. Everybody sleep. And she in the bathroom eating her girlfriend out. And it's a black girl and a white girl. So the black girl was like the dominant one. The white girl was, the film. So she in the bathroom eating her out early in the morning. Everybody sleep. This bitch exaggerating so much. She in there, like loud as fuck. So I'm asleep. But I wake up and I wake up, I'm looking, I'm like, what the fuck? So everybody all sitting with their faces popped up like they tired of it. So I'm like, oh hell no. Nah. So I was like, I stood up and I was like, shut the fuck up. So the girl got quiet or whatever. So her girlfriend, she came out. I got like a distinctive voice. So when she came out, she knew it was me. So she was like, I had laid back down because they had shut up. So um when she came out the bathroom, she was all like, "Who's that gorgeous or whatever?" She was all like, you shut the fuck up or something, or she said make me shut up or something, and I was like, girl, and I was like, fuck you, and she was like, nah, fuck with me. Like I'm like, okay, girl, whatever, but I'm like, y'all sitting here with y'all faces front up, they ain't here fucking like say something. Like I don't want to hear that shit, bitch. I'm trying to fucking sleep. Like the fuck, that shit is not that good.
okay, now women can be kind of catty, and you say it really was kind of laid back, but I'm sure you've seen situations, or did you get into any situations with any other women while you was doing your time?
Mhm.
A physical situation?
Mhm.
You beat a bitch up?
I didn't beat her up, but we definitely had like a little altercation.
A
It was
cat fight?
so yeah, basically it was like the girl from Battle Creek.
Or you got into it
she
with the homie?
she wasn't the well, you know what, I ain't gonna lie. She was the homie. But see, she had been locked and she was institutionalized. She had been locked up for like 15 years. So we was cool and everything. But what happened was one of the girls or whatever had showed her a picture or something of like a guy, like her cousin or something. And I think she wanted to talk to him, but she been locked up for a long time. So I can't even really remember exactly what how the even situation started or what happened, but for some reason she had got mad at me about the guy because I think I like seen the picture and was like, oh, like he fine, like hook me up with him or whatever. But I was just really on some joking, playing shit, and she found out about it and got mad, like took it serious. And I'm like, what? Like, what? They like, she OD mad at you and she ain't fucking with you. And I'm like, what? Like, why? Or whatever. And they was like, she said you trying to talk to some guy she talking to and all this other stuff. So
That's that
I'm
catty
like,
female shit.
so I'm like, what? Like, what guy or whatever? So when they like, I figured out what she was talking about, and I'm like, so she was like, when I said something to her about it, she was serious. Like, I was talking to him first, and I already wrote him and this and that. And I was like, girl, like, go ahead. Like, I don't want him. Like, it was really just a joke. I seen the picture and it was a joke. Like, keep him or whatever. And then, but after that, she like never liked me no more and then talk to me. So then every time I would walk past her, but she was jealous. So every time I would walk past her, like she would be sitting in her room, like she could be sitting in her room right here on her bed, and I walk past. So sometimes when you walking, you just look like you pass somebody, whatever they dorm, whatever, and you look. And so it was just out of habit. Like I looked, and one day I walked past and looked, and she was like, like, so I backed up and I'm like, "What's up?" or whatever. And she was like, "What's up?" And I'm like, "What is the problem?" She like, "Bitch, every time you walk past here, you looking in here like you got a problem or you looking for something or whatever." And I'm like, "Girl," and I like walked in her dorm and we kind of like had just like a little scuffle and that was about it. It's like that was
So was that
it.
your only situation?
I mean, yeah, in the feds. I thought we was talking about the feds in the
Yeah, we is.
state.
We definitely talking about the feds. We're gonna
Okay,
keep
well,
it
yeah,
mafia vacation.
yeah,
Now, I want to ask you this: as far as your kid's father, do you have one baby daddy, two baby daddies?
too.
Two baby daddies. Now, how was your relationship with them during your prison time?
I mean, it was I talked to my daughter's dad and my son's dad I didn't really talk to him, but my son would go with his dad every other weekend. And then my daughter, she stayed with her dad. So I talked to him, but my son dad I ain't really talk to him.
So did they support you like mentally? Like,
Like what?
I mean, were you involved with either one of them? Which were you involved with either one of them before you went to prison?
Mm-mm.
But did they like keep it real with you, like support you as far as what I mean, being there for you during your prison time, or would you
Yeah,
say they
with
left
their
you?
kids.
I'm talking about you, not the children,
No, I didn't have like no dealings with them.
but still, like, and like I got like a rocky situation with one of my children's mother, and one of my children's mother, my prison time, like brought us closer than ever. Like now, that's like my best friend because she supported me, like when and she was married at the time, but she was still there for me as far as me being able to vent to her, call her when I need her, and what I mean, shit like that. So was that the same with you and your children's fathers?
Well, with my son's dad, like no, I didn't never call him. Like I didn't have a reason to. Like my son was with my mom, and when he wanted to come pick my son up, he would just call my mom and go get him. So I never talked to him. But my daughter, she lived with her dad. So yeah, I would talk to him, but I mean I wasn't looking for no type of support from him. Like I just shit, you got your daughter, that's what it is. But
I mean, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. But at the
hmm
same time, it might be different from niggas, though. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I've been on this earth 43 years and I still haven't figured women out. So I don't know how y'all think. Like a man's never gonna figure that. But men in prison, we do our time off women, and it's not like we're not looking to use a woman, but we looking for the outlet with a woman. I'm around niggas all day, so I want to talk to women. Like the majority of my calls, I'm calling a woman.
hmm
I barely talk to my niggas. Like I call my niggas, and I got a few niggas that's important in my life. Like to this day, I call them to check up on things and make sure they was right. But the majority of my calls, I'm calling a woman. Like fuck you niggas. Like what I'm gonna talk to you niggas for? So was you calling your homegirls or niggas? Like
no, I was calling my kids.
I mean,
And then I would
that goes
call.
without saying. Like the relationship with our children goes without saying. But outside of your children,
I wasn't talking to nobody because my dude was in prison and the other guy I had just met, so I never like kept in contact with him. But when my brother had told me he was looking for me, like I just was like I ain't, I didn't want to call him. Like I didn't have that type of bond with him. Like I felt like I'm gonna call him from jail. But my dude, he got out before I did. So once he got out, I did call him, but I didn't like calling him because I would call him and he would have a million things going on in the background. And like, I'm talking to him, but he talking to other people. And I'm like, dog, like I'm on a 15-minute call.
I
Like,
hate that. Like, let's just tell this one bitch I used to deal with. Excuse my language, but this one bitch I used to deal with. Bitch, I'm calling you for 15 minutes. Fuck what you got going on right now. Talk to me. The nigga can have you all night, bitch. I got 15 minutes.
yeah.
So don't be talking to those nigga while that shit used to irritate me. And the nigga be like, man, that's some sucker stroking. It's not no sucker stroking ass shit. Pay
Yeah, and I
attention.
definitely didn't want a sucker stroke. So I just stopped. I kind of stopped calling because it would be times where I would call, I would hear females in the background. And like I knew he was cheating and doing shit, but I was like, you know what? I'm not about to be that person that's in here stressed out about what he doing. So I ain't give a fuck. Like one time he sent me some money and the last name was his baby mama. He know me
But
and
the
this bitch
money,
don't like
so
each
you shouldn't have
other.
gave a fuck because he sent
I
the
mean, I
money.
did, but it was like, okay, she only did this because you fucking with her because you couldn't have dare got her to do this if you wasn't. And so it was like that right there had confirmed it, and I just was like, you know what, it is what it is. Like I would call him, talk to him. Sometimes he answered, sometimes he didn't. But when I was on the outside and he was calling, I answered his motherfucking calls and talked to him even when I didn't feel like talking to him for 15 minutes.
And that's what I'm saying. Like it's like a double edged sword where how niggas play it and how y'all play it. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So, you know, and I don't really believe in that. Like if one of my chicks went to prison right now, I don't know if it's because of me being in prison and experiencing that. I would rabbit the bitch like 100% because I've experienced that from women. They stuck by my side 100%. So it's like really keeping it real with myself and keeping it real with the game, if that's what you want to call it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Had he done any time before?
Mm-hmm.
So he knew how to he knew he should have known how to play that.
He did 17 years altogether. He did 10 years and then he did 7 years.
So he eventually stayed at coma. How long?
Maybe 9 months.
9 months. And you was released September 30th, 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been home going on 8 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So since you've been home, what you been having going on?
No, I'm going on 9 years. This year be 9 years.
This year be nine
Yeah,
years.
this year be nine
So in
years.
those 9 years, what you been having going on?
Hustling.
Hustling. And hustling don't mean illegal, right?
Sometimes.
I like that. I mean, I like that. That's like the realest answer you could ever gave. You know what I mean? And that's like maybe the realest answer anybody on my show ever gave me. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we got to do what we got to do. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I hope I don't ever get in a position where I got to be like sometime, but it is what it is because a lot of us been in these situations where we're not fully prepared to come home from prison. So I want to take you back to that. How did you prepare yourself for your release?
Huh. um, I really didn't. It was just because I was actually supposed to. I thought that I was gonna parole back because I was living in Florida when I caught my charge. So I was trying to parole to my grandmother's house, but her husband had a felony, so they wouldn't let me parole there. And then I didn't have no other family like who I would want to go and stay with in Florida. So the next best thing was my mom. So I had to come back here. So I was like, okay, I didn't want to come back here at all because I'm like, I don't want to go back to Detroit at all. So I was like, I'm gonna just go there, stay there till I get off parole, and then move back to Florida. And I came back here and I they moved in with my ex, and then that was it.
Your ex, is that who you with now?
No,
You know, I'm a little nosy because I got to keep
I'm
it
not
real.
with anybody now.
See, I got to keep it real. And we got to get off my favorite vacation a little bit, but I'm going to keep it real. I met you initially trying to holler at you.
Mm-hmm.
And when I seen your Instagram, I seen you was in the feds. I said, fuck trying to holler at you. I need you on my show. But
Yeah,
you told me you had a nigga when I met you.
I was going through a situation. I was.
Females for you. She was going through a situation, but told me she had a whole nigga.
Well, I mean, because I was still claiming him. We was going through a little situation, but we went through our little situation and we called it quits.
Okay,
I,
well,
we was dating for 3 years.
okay, well, I'm gonna keep that in mind. Anybody who know me, look at her. But anyway, we ain't gonna get into that. So, in closing, what advice do you have for any young females out there that want to follow in your footsteps or think the life that we lived is all peaches and cream and only see the lights? You know, everything that glitters ain't gold. It's a backstory behind this. You done prison time behind living a life. Whatever it was you be, whether it's scamming, selling drugs, or whether it is whatever legal activity is, it's a consequence of that. What advice would you give any young female that's looking to follow in your footsteps to prevent her from doing that?
Um, I don't want to give any advice to no one because I'm still I'm still transitioning my own self. So I mean, definitely the goal is to, stay out of prison or, whatever you doing, just don't get caught. But
I mean, I respect your honesty because a
I
lot of
can,
motherfuckers gonna get up here and give a bullshit ass answer. Like me, I've only been home 6 months today, but I have no intent on doing anything illegal. But at the end of the day, can I say if my ribs is touching, if I'm starving, if my bills due, what I won't do? I can't sit up here and say I won't do it.
of course, and I mean that's always how it is. I mean, of course, I'm like I ain't never going back to prison. But if it's a bag out there calling, and I feel like it's a big bag and it's worth it, I'll take the chance. So
And that's just real. And you know, this ain't a fake show. I want to give everybody the real, and that's your real opinion. That's how you really feel. So
yeah, I
you
mean
know,
that is not what I want. But until I transition to like where I want to be and I'm comfortably legit with what I'm doing and everything, then I'm gonna do what I got to do
because
to
nobody's
make
perfect.
money for sure.
Nobody's perfect, and at the end of the day, if you're watching this show, we're not promoting you doing this. We're not promoting any negativity. We're not glorifying prison, but you know, everybody's different. My situation might be different than her situation. She might be willing to take a chance, and I might not be willing to take a chance. So, you know, my advice to any young women is to not follow her footsteps. And I'm sure she's not telling any young women to follow her footsteps, but you know, she's just being real and saying she's going to get it before she don't get it. You know what I'm saying? That's just
Right.
what it is.
Yeah, I mean I didn't accomplish things like I for the past 10 years I've been doing real estate. I was doing investing. I buy houses and fix them up and flip them. But the person who I was doing the flipping part with, who was doing all of the work, he went to prison to the feds in March of last year. So I hadn't had nobody around to do that. So I just recently went and got my realtor license, and that's what I'm doing now. But I mean, it's slow, and you got to build your clientele up, and so. But I mean, be all you can be.
For sure. So, you know, I definitely appreciate you. I've been on your ass about coming on this motherfucking show.
Yes,
You came on.
I'm going out of town tomorrow.
I appreciate you going
I
to
did.
Vegas tomorrow, Super Bowl weekend. I'm sure you would have enjoyed it more if the Lions would have been in the Super Bowl. But
I'm gonna still
however,
have my Lions gear on out there on Super
you
Bowl.
ain't going to Vegas with no Lions gear on,
Oh, I bet you on Sunday I'm gonna have my Lions gear on. I don't care if it is the Chiefs and 49ers. I'm gonna have my Lions stuff on.
Once again, man, shout out Gorgeous, man. And I'm gonna say this: she's the first lady of my Fed Vacation because she's my first female guest on here, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode, man. For 15 years, the government knew me as MA430-83039, but now they just know me as Wall Street Real. You're not tuned into my Fed Vacation.